Hey, Brigham with Drift. In this video, 5 things I think you should know about the Yes Warca. You've heard about the Warca. This is Yes's answer to the Libtech Orca and the Ride War Pig. For some reason, when I first saw this, I just dismissed it. I decided it was going to be a lame board. I don't know why, but my curiosity got the best of me. I picked one up and ended up loving it. Before I get into the details, check out my specs and my biases below so you know where we're coming from. We own all the boards we talk about. We ride them on multiple days in a variety of conditions, and most importantly, get it into some powder before we tell you what we think. All right, number 1. The first thing I think you should know is that the Warca rides bigger than the size would indicate for 2 reasons. This is a 155. First is it's got a notched out tail and nose. If those were a more traditional shape, this would probably be a 159. And then the other thing is it's a little bit volume shifted. So it's a little bigger underfoot. It's got that tapered mid bite that I'll talk more about in a minute. So like I would rarely ride something as small as a 155, but this was enough board. Definitely not too big, I'm not telling you that, but when you look at it, you just got to kind of remind yourself of those 2 facts. Number 2, this is listed as full camber, and it is, but it's not a very aggressive camber, and I wouldn't be afraid of it. It is a pretty short camber section, and even though it doesn't say that it's rockered tip and tail, it has a pretty long nose and tail, and especially the wider nose. It's pretty floaty. I would say it feels almost like a board with some tip and tail rocker. Technically is full camber, but just not that aggressive, nothing to worry about. I'll talk a little bit more about the benefits of that and kind of how it felt overall in a minute. Item number 3, I thought that this was a really fun powder board on a less epic pow day. You got like 5, 6, 7 inches, especially if it's like a little bit heavier. This floats really well. You can set it back. You got that big nose and a little bit of taper. I didn't take it out on the deepest days, but on those kind of mellower pow days, I thought it was really fun, and then stayed really fun once the powder gets tracked out. Number 4, this holds a really good edge, that little bit of camber and then the tapered mid bite with that edge disruption. You've heard me talk about it before. I really like it. I took this on one of my tours on Mount Shasta this past spring. That's about 6,000 feet of descending on spring corn, and when we were there, some of that was still frozen and really steep. The thing I want on Shasta is a full camber board that's not too long so that I can swing it around easy in the steeps, but that it still gives me a lot of confidence and locks in and holds an edge. And this really did that. It was perfect. It treated me well in that steep icy stuff, and then when we got lower and the snow softened up and the terrain mellowed out a little bit, it had some of that float that I want and that surfiness. It's really nice. And that brings me to my 5th point. Kind of hard to articulate it, but I was most impressed by how balanced this board is between nimbleness and playfulness and stability and aggressiveness. I felt like if I wanted, I could go in the trees and ride it super mellow and chill, but I could also go and, charge with it and ride it pretty hard. And it's just kind of a combo of that volume shift and that tapered mid bite, that it just had a really nice balance to me. I know there's kind of mixed reviews about this board out there, but to me, I thought it was kind of magical. So that's the Yes Warca. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you have any questions or comments.